I know exactly what you've been told your whole life. The words have probably been delivered in different tones, different contexts, different relationships, but the message was always the same. You've been told that you're too sensitive. You've been told to toughen up, to grow thicker skin, to stop letting things get to you so much. You've been told probably 1,000 times, maybe more, not to take things so personally. You've likely spent years apologizing for your tears, for your reactions, for the intensity of your emotions. You've probably learned to preface your feelings with disclaimers. I know I'm being too sensitive, but, or sorry, I'm just emotional today. But I'm here today to tell you something that might fundamentally shift how you see yourself. The diagnosis you've been given your entire life is wrong, profoundly, completely wrong. There is nothing broken about you. You are not weak, and you are certainly not a mistake or a malfunction of human design. You are what psychologists and researchers call a highly sensitive person, a trait that appears in approximately 15 to 20% of the population and has been documented across more than 100 species. But I prefer a different term, one that captures not the vulnerability, but the capability of what you possess. You are a super sensor. While others are recording the world in standard definition, processing information at a baseline level that's efficient and functional, your brain is recording in 8K ultra-high definition resolution. You're capturing details, nuances, emotional frequencies, and environmental data that most people's nervous systems are designed to filter out entirely. And today, we're going to look at the neuroscience that proves your sensitivity isn't a defect or disorder. It's a sophisticated, high-performance radar system that the world desperately needs, even if it doesn't always know how to value it.
To understand yourself, really understand why you experience life the way you do, we have to look at your hardware. Because this isn't just a personality quirk or a character flaw you need to overcome through willpower. This is biology. This is neuroscience. Research shows that your brain processes information fundamentally differently than the other 80% of the population. The differences are measurable, observable, and consistent across neuroimaging studies. Think of the human brain like a camera system. Most people's brains are recording the world in standard definition, maybe 720p or 1080p if we're being generous. It's a good picture. It's clear enough to navigate the world effectively. It's efficient, doesn't require excessive processing power, and doesn't take up too much cognitive memory. The system runs smoothly because it's optimized for speed and energy conservation rather than depth and detail. But your brain? Your brain is recording in 8K resolution. Every frame contains exponentially more information. Every moment is processed with greater depth, more layers, increased complexity. And this isn't metaphor, it's measurable neurological reality. Neuroscience has identified 3 specific upgrades in your neural hardware that explain why life feels so overwhelmingly intense for you.
First, your brain lacks the standard sensory filter that most people have. Neuroscientists call this low latent inhibition. Most brains are designed to ignore approximately 90% of incoming sensory information to conserve energy and prevent cognitive overload. They automatically categorize most environmental stimuli as background noise, irrelevant data that doesn't require conscious processing. The hum of the air conditioner, the texture of fabric against skin, the menial shift in someone's vocal tone, the pattern of light filtering through window blinds, most brains delete this information before it reaches conscious awareness. But your brain treats everything as potentially relevant. You process the texture of the chair you're sitting in, the subtle hum of the refrigerator in the next room, the barely perceptible mood shift of the person sitting next to you, the quality of light in the room, and dozens of other sensory inputs all simultaneously. This is why crowded spaces, noisy environments, and chaotic situations overwhelm you so quickly. Your system isn't just processing the main event, it's processing everything. But this is also precisely why you notice the beauty that others walk past without seeing, the patterns that reveal solutions to complex problems, and the subtle warnings that prevent disasters before they happen.
Second, your mirror neurons, the specialized brain cells that allow humans to empathize and understand others' emotional states, are hyperactive. For most people, mirror neurons create a mild resonance with others' emotions. They can recognize that someone is sad and feel a gentle, sympathetic response. But for you, the experience is completely different in both quality and intensity. You don't just intellectually understand that someone is sad, you physically feel their sadness in your own body. Your nervous system literally simulates their emotional state, creating a somatic experience of their internal reality. You're not imagining this. You're not being dramatic. Your brain is actually running an internal simulation of their emotional experience, which is why you can walk into a room and immediately sense tension that no one has verbally acknowledged, or why you feel exhausted after spending time with someone who's depressed, even if they never mentioned feeling down. You are, in the most literal neurological sense, an emotional sponge existing in a world full of emotional spills. This makes you an extraordinarily gifted counselor, friend, artist, or healer, but it also means you absorb pain that isn't yours and carry emotional weight that you didn't create. Third, and this leads to perhaps the most misunderstood feature of your neural hardware, you engage in what psychologists call depth of processing. Researchers refer to your cognitive style as the pause-to-check strategy. In conversations or when making decisions, you might feel like you're slower than others. You might beat yourself up constantly for hesitating, for overthinking, for not being able to make snap decisions the way other people seem to do so effortlessly. But here's what the science actually shows. You're not slow, you're thorough. While others are engaging in shallow processing, just reacting to what's immediately in front of them based on surface-level analysis, your brain is engaging in deep semantic encoding. You're unconsciously connecting the current moment to relevant past memories, running predictive simulations of potential future outcomes, analyzing the subtext and meaning behind the actual words being spoken, considering second and third order consequences, and integrating emotional, logical, and intuitive data streams simultaneously. You're not hesitating because you're confused or indecisive. You're hesitating because your brain is running extraordinarily complex computational analysis to ensure the best possible outcome. That's not a bug in your system. That's high-level processing that most brains simply aren't capable of executing. Now, you might be thinking, if this trait makes life so much harder, why did evolution keep it? This is perhaps the most important insight of all. If being highly sensitive was purely a weakness or a maladaptive trait, natural selection would have eliminated it thousands of years ago. Traits that reduce survival and reproductive success get bred out of populations relatively quickly in evolutionary terms. But high sensitivity didn't disappear. It persisted across cultures, across time periods, across species. Why? Because the tribe needs you. In ancient human communities, the warriors, the non-sensitive majority, were absolutely essential. They were the bold risk-takers necessary for hunting dangerous game and defending against threats. They could act quickly without overthinking, charge into uncertain situations without being paralyzed by fear, and maintain focus during chaos. But here's the critical insight. A tribe composed entirely of warriors would die. They would rush into danger without adequate planning, miss environmental warnings, fail to detect deception, and make impulsive decisions that would doom the group. The tribe needed what I call royal advisors. That's you. You were the one who noticed the weather patterns changing before the storm arrived. You were the one who sensed that the neighboring tribe's peace offerings didn't feel genuine. You were the one who remembered which plants were poisonous, who noticed when a child was becoming ill before symptoms were obvious, who felt when group dynamics were becoming dangerous. Your sensitivity isn't weakness, it's a sophisticated early warning system that kept communities alive. The problem is that modern society is loud, fast, aggressive, and optimized for warriors. It rewards quick reactions over deep thinking, bold confidence over careful consideration, emotional toughness over emotional intelligence. That's why you feel out of place, like you're constantly struggling to keep up in a world that wasn't designed for your operating system. But don't mistake being out of place for being without value. The world needs what you have, it just doesn't always know how to make space for it. I know that carrying this high-resolution radar system comes with significant cost. Because you process everything so deeply and thoroughly, you reach your cognitive and emotional capacity much faster than others. When you suddenly need to shut down, to hide in a dark, quiet room, to cancel plans you were genuinely excited about, that's not you being flaky or dramatic. That's your RAM being completely full. Your system has overheated from processing too much data for too long without adequate recovery time. Science offers a beautiful metaphor here. Most people are like dandelions, remarkably resilient plants that can grow almost anywhere, in a crack in the sidewalk, in poor soil, with minimal water, in harsh conditions. Dandelions survive and even thrive. They're fine regardless of their environment. But you're an orchid. If you try to grow in a harsh, noisy, toxic, or chaotic environment, you will wither. You will struggle far more than the dandelions around you. And for years, you've probably blamed yourself for not having their resilience, for not being able to just toughen up and handle what they handle. But research reveals something profound called vantage sensitivity. When an orchid is placed in the right environment, with appropriate light, proper soil composition, adequate humidity, and attentive care, it doesn't just survive at the same level as a dandelion. It blooms with a complexity, depth, and breathtaking beauty that the dandelion can never achieve. The orchid's sensitivity isn't a flaw. It's what enables extraordinary flourishing under the right conditions. You don't need to toughen up to survive the sidewalk. You need to move yourself to the greenhouse. When you curate your life deliberately to support rather than assault your sensitivity, when you choose environments, relationships, and rhythms that honor rather than override your nature, you don't just catch up to others, you surpass them. Your depth of insight, quality of work, and capacity for meaning-making becomes genuinely extraordinary. So here's my prescription. Stop trying to install a tougher filter. You cannot fundamentally change your neurobiology, and you shouldn't want to. The world has enough numbness, enough shallow processing, enough people who skim the surface without ever going deep. We don't need you to develop thicker skin. We need you to be exactly who you are, but you must protect your gift fiercely. Build boundaries that others might call excessive. Honor your need for silence even when it seems antisocial. Choose quality over quantity in relationships. Design your life intentionally rather than accepting default settings. And the next time someone tells you that you're too sensitive, take a breath, smile internally, and remember the truth. You don't have a defect. You're just seeing the world in 8K resolution while they're still operating in standard definition. And in a world that's becoming increasingly disconnected, increasingly superficial, increasingly numb, your ability to feel deeply, to process thoroughly, to sense what others miss isn't a burden. It's the very thing that makes you profoundly, powerfully human. If this message resonated,
If it felt like someone finally put words to what you've lived your whole life, then don't let it end here. Like this video so it reaches others who've been told they're too sensitive when they were actually built for depth. Subscribe if you want more neuroscience-backed insights that help you understand your mind instead of fighting it. Share this with someone who needs to hear that they're not broken, they're just wired differently. And comment below, when did you first realize your sensitivity wasn't a weakness but a strength? Your story might be the confirmation someone else has been waiting for.